Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your host, Siobhan Camille.
And Tae Michelle.
Where we whine, W-I-N-E, about life, love, relationships, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. So grab a glass of your favorite red, white, or rosé and join us on the couch.
On the couch. We are sitting on the literal couch, finally.
Right, we are back on real couches. This is an in color episode. If you are listening on the podcast platforms, please join us on YouTube and you will see us whine in color, as we call it.
That's right. Today we will be whining about skincare. For those who are new to the channel, we have what we call a beauty series, where we whine in color, which is being simply, as Siobhan said, means you get to see us on YouTube, see our lovely faces. Hello. And we've done quite a few now episodes of this series, so we're just going to continue with talking about our lovely melanated skin and how we take care of it. But of course, before we start whining about our skin, Siobhan, what are you whining about today?
So today I am whining a Pinot Noir in honor of today, which is August 16th, 18th. Y'all should know what day it is. Listen, we are recording this at 10, 20, 10:30 at night. I don't need your judgments, people. Today is Pinot Noir day. That's the point. That's the point. And so I have a Pinot Noir, barefoot Pinot Noir, which says they have won gold at the Florida State Fair. Yay for y'all. Quite frankly, let me tell you how I came to this wine. Okay, there's a story behind this wine.
Oh, okay, let's hear it. Story time.
So I knew I was getting a Pinot Noir because Pinot Noir day, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right, literally like an hour before I thought we had to start the podcast, I ran to the liquor store, right? And I was like, "Ooh, I got to do this. Let me get a Pinot Noir." So I'm searching up and down. So there, first of all, where I am, like, not a huge wine selection. It's literally like down the middle aisle, these two long shelves. That's all you got. So I was looking for I was just looking for Pinot Noir. I don't really care what it is, just not what I had before, which I knew they weren't going to have that anyway. The first Pinot Noir I come across was by a company called Flip Flop. Yeah. Okay. Got pictures of sandal. Like, your face was I was like, really? So Flip Flop, they may not be bad. I'm not going to shun them. I didn't taste them, but I'm going to tell you right now, the name of your company is Flip Flop and your Pinot Noir is $6. I go, wait a second. Hold on. No.
You flip flop it.
I flipped. I said, flop it to the other side. So I kept going. And then the next one I saw was Liberty Creek. And I said, okay, but I was like, is there something else? Like Red Riding Hood, a little too big, a little too small. I need the right one. Then I went and I saw Cavett. And first of all, I thought about the Cavett you had, the limited edition. And I said, well, wait, because y'all ain't always what you supposed to be. And then the problem was the Cavett bottle was so big, and it was only like $15, but it was so big. And I was like, yo, I don't really know. I don't really think I remember like a Pinot Noir like that to go invest in this big, huge bottle. Okay. Like, I'm not going to do that. So then I walked all the way down again and I was like, yo, I might just have to get the Liberty Creek. So I wound up in the barefoot section and I was like, man. And the reason that the barefoot, I don't have an issue with y'all, but I'm gonna tell you, I really didn't want to buy you. I didn't want to buy you. I walked in the store like I don't want a barefoot. Like, I walked past y'all Moscato, your Chardonnay, your Pinot Grigio, your Riesling. I walked past your B's. So you're at the beginning. And I literally intentionally walked past you. I wasn't gonna buy you. The reason I bought you is the size of this bottle. The size of this bottle and the fact that your only real competitor was Flip Flop. And I just, California, barefoot and Flip Flop. I understand y'all are beach people, but I don't want y'all to keep naming your wine company stuff that's got to do, like, come on, man. Come on. Barefoot, Flip Flop, sandals, chancletas. Like, what's next, people? Stop it. Okay? That's the story of my wine. Hopefully it's good. What are you whining, Ty, Michelle?
Wow, that sounds so stressful.
Girl, it was a thing. This was a whole thing to get this Pinot Noir. Jesus.
It's okay. I think we're both on wine struggle, and I say that because I forgot we were recording in color today. Just to be honest, I was like, oh, it's our Monday meeting. Yes. And we're recording. Crap. Not to mention the kids had practice, did think about, like, I still have to do my workout. Like, today was a whole thing. And it was like, oh, you're recording. Oh, well, go look decent. What are you drinking? Crap. Okay. So what I did was a quick lookup of something different to do with different wines. And what I came up with is I'm using the Riesling from, we've had this, the Saint.
Chateau Saint Michel.
Chateau Michel, yeah. I'm using this, and they told me to mix it with white grape juice.
We never had the Riesling, did we?
Yeah. Or did we have the Chardonnay?
No, we had the Riesling. You're right.
I thought we had the Riesling.
It was a semi-sweet Riesling. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they said mix it with white grape juice. I said, oh, that actually might sound good. So I have a little wine cocktail today. I've kind of been on a wine cocktail tip a little bit. I had the mimosa.
You did. You had the Prosecco.
Yeah, I had the mimosa last week. I'm having this. This really didn't have a name. So yeah, that's my wine story today. And that's what I'm drinking. So I have my nice little glass. This one's cute. It has I don't know if you can see it, but like a little grapes on it. It's cute.
Oh, that looked like a butterfly, but that could be because I don't have my glasses on. And yeah, if you have watched this, I don't have my glasses on, and I'm not blind. I'm nearsighted. Okay, so I see everything happening, but the ring light in my glasses was distracting and bothering me. If you watch the first beauty suite, it was a problem for me after. Like, we almost re-recorded because it was just bothering me once I was editing. And so the glasses are off today. This is my full face, which I guess is kind of apt since we're talking about skincare. So
look, there you go. It happened. So here's our wine fun fact. It's funny that Siobhan mentioned bottle sizes because that's actually the wine fun fact. There are typically 4 sizes for your wine bottles. It's the quarter bottle, the half bottle, your standard bottle, and the largest bottle, not the largest of the collection, but the largest, most common bottle. It's called the Magnum.
Yeah. Interesting. This is not, I think the Cavit may have been a Magnum, and I wasn't going to have a Pinot Noir Magnum because I wasn't going to commit to that. I wasn't going to get in bed. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that pun person right now, okay? I'm going to tell a mother joke as a non-mom. I wasn't going to get in bed with the Pinot Noir Magnum size. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. And so that's why we are here.
Sizes. I was like, that's so funny. That's what I'm talking about today. So that's just a few. There are levels to the wines, but those will be your first most common size bottles that you would find. They go with, it's about 12 different sizes. So those are your first 4. And maybe next week I'll go to the next 4. Maybe let's do that. I'll do the next 4 for you next week. So you'll know what the bottle sizes are and the proper names for them. So that's the purpose of these nice fun facts.
So I have a fun fact. I didn't last week, but I have one because my fun facts are probably going to be history based. Not because of intention, but because I found some weird stuff. Okay. So my wine history, that's what I will give you. Ty is going to give you a fun fact. I'm going to give you a little wine history. What was it? The king of Babylon, right?
Okay.
Right. So his code, and it's a famous code. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Morse code?
No, pause, guys. Okay. So here is my wine history for the day. The Code of Hammurabi, a set of laws enacted by the Babylonian king Hammurabi, included a law that punished sellers of fraudulent wine. They were to be drowned in a river.
Wow.
So according to Hammurabi Code, if you are a fraudulent wine seller, they threw you and drowned your tail in a river.
Okay.
Wine history.
What's fraudulent wine?
Bootleg. Fraudulent means fake. So if you was
I know.
Oh, well, I don't know. I guess if you're sitting up here talking about this is a vintage Chardonnay, and it's not. It's some things you grabbed off.
Fresh.
It ain't fresh. You just grabbed that off your vine.
Well, that would make sense because they did more aged wine, I would think, back then. You know,
I don't know. I think I will look that up, the history of that. But I will just say,
look, y'all, we're gonna teach y'all something about this wine that we here be drinking. And I know that's improper English, but we are going to teach you about this here wine that we are drinking. That was simple one that we intend to go, or that we go by, that we have all these great things to say. Oh, I like this one. That one. We're going to teach you some things about these wines and where they come from and fun facts. So you can be educated and snooty if you decided to go to Napa Valley one day.
Or if it's a question on Jeopardy. I don't know.
Or Jeopardy. Look. White Man Can't Jump was just on the other day. And if you have dreams and aspirations for Jeopardy, these might be some facts
that help you. You might be like, you know what? I remember that. I remember they said something about quartz one day.
All I asked for is a shout out. I don't even want none of your money. Just give me a shout out. Give me a shout out. I'm like, I got shouted out on Jeopardy. Okay. I know a genius, or a genius knows my name.
A genius knows my name. Put that on the t-shirt.
A genius knows my name. Okay. So jumping right into with all the last fun and things, skincare. Siobhan, let's start with you. What are some of your thoughts on skincare? And particularly, I don't want to exclude our non-Black affiliates, but particularly African American skin, because that's our skin. You know, that's what we can relate to. So, what are your thoughts in reference to skincare? Like, how do you what are some of the things you do to take care of your skin? Let's put it that way.
I think I started taking better care of my skin recently, having to put on makeup for this podcast, be real with you. Because let me say this. I always did like scrubs. Like I've always had like I used to love in college. I did the St. Ives apricot scrub, was awesome. I still like right now I have St. Ives coffee and the coffee and coconut, I think is what it is. I know it's got coffee in it. And that one I actually started using because my friend before I let her, like, she was practicing her makeup on me. And before she did that, she cleansed my face with that. And I just loved the tingle. And I was like, ooh, yeah. So I had to find it because where I was living at the time, they didn't sell it in stores close to me because, you know, markets. So I actually had to buy it online. I also have the St. Ives green tea and bamboo blackhead scrub. I used to, in middle school and high school, I lived for Clean and Clear's blackhead scrub. The reason I stopped them and anybody else with benzoyl peroxide is because it bleaches your towels. So it made me go, if you're bleaching towels, what are you doing to my skin? So I stopped using Clean and Clear, and it was the purple, and also because purple is my favorite color. So, you know, but that I used to use them, but now I use for blackheads, I use St. Ives, and I have St. just St. Ives, and I have St. Ives. It's aloe and rose water cleanser. And I don't use them all at the same time. I don't use them all on the same days. If I don't put on makeup, probably I will use the aloe one, because the aloe one is a mild cleanser. The bamboo and green tea is a moderate, and the coffee is a deeper clean. So like when I take this off, when I take makeup off, I do the coffee after. On an average day, I probably do like the bamboo green tea, the moderate. If I've been working out, I'm gonna do the green tea. I might do the coffee too, depending on how much. I might do the coffee followed by the green tea. And the aloe cleanser, because it's more mild, I'll just do that. And usually that's my morning. I do that in the morning. And I don't do them every day. Like I won't do, because I kind of alternate among the three, is that. But I think that it's important to cleanse your skin. I also have a toner, which I talked about in our makeup one, by Urban RX, which I actually do like. I was hesitant to stick with them when I found out that they were originally a 50% Black owned. It was two women that started it, a Black woman and a white woman started it. And for whatever reason, and I don't know the story behind it, and I am a little curious, the Black woman is no longer a part of the company. So I thought, and I didn't know that until after I bought it, I thought about being like, but it actually works. And then I have a skin serum by Black Opal, which is now Black owned. I've seen a lot of stuff online about how Black Opal is not, Black Radiance is not. A lot of these companies with Black in the name are not Black owned. And that is very, very true. That is extremely true for people who care. Please research who owns the stuff you're handing who owns the companies you're handing your money to.
And sidebar to that, because we are recording this in August, and August is Black Entrepreneurship Month. Just a little keynote. So those who do shop or look for those type things, just remember August is like the national recognition, if that's the right word, of
you know, I'll tell you, because I told you earlier. Y'all missed it, but we had a whole, respect versus retrospect.
As an adult, I'm still learning. Okay. I like it though. I like it because it teaches me to use things properly, and then I can then translate to my children who can keep going to theirs and creating generational things. Anyway, just so that was just a little tidbit for those who don't know. August is Black Entrepreneurship Month, so shop Black.
So again, like I was saying, so Black Opal was actually bought by two Black women not actually that long ago, either last year or the year before. So it is recently Black owned. But like Black Radiance is not. And then also be very aware of places, things like Shea Moisture or a lot of other companies that sell to like Unilever and bigger brands. And I get it, get your coin, get your purse, get your bag, get your money, whatever people want to say. But and I don't, let me be clear for a second. And I know this is a little aside, but since it is, Black Entrepreneurship Month, I do not have a problem with Black companies getting their bag by going more mainstream and going to companies like Unilever or anything of that sort. In principle, I don't. My issue comes, which is why I stopped shopping Shea Moisture, because I used to. My issue comes when you change your whole formula behind it. When you don't go create a new line under your name, but you take what you already had and you change it. That to me is insulting to your customer base, because your consumer and customer base who built you to get you the recognition that you have, you basically spit in their face that it's like, oh, well, now we're so big, we don't need you anymore. Because these people made you. And now you took them and their money to get to where you wanted to be, to the point where all these other companies even give you any time of day in their office or boardroom to have a meeting to discuss buying your company. And that's what you do. If you go and create a whole new line, or you do a based on, I mean, let's be real, they do this with movies all the time. They do this with TV shows all the time, spinoffs. If you're going to do a spinoff, do you. But to change the original formula is problematic. And to change your marketing, like completely, like again, when Jamie Foxx and I can't think of the white guy, I'm sorry, but they had a movie together, and Jamie Foxx was pushed in the Black communities, the other guy was pushed in the white communities. Fine. Everybody, they both worked on a movie together. They both trying to get coin bag off of their hard work. We get it. We understand marketing. But why I think there was a push to cancel Shea Moisture was because your marketing became disrespectful. You talk about hair hate, and the people you have in your hair hate video are like a racially ambiguous chick with like 3C hair and like 2 white women. When the biggest, as we talked about in the last beauty suite, social acceptance of black hair is, I'm sitting here in front of you with my hair straight. It's not that I'm against straight hair, but let's be very honest on what that is, okay? My hair, if I curl it, is actually like 3 different curl patterns, which is why I tend to straighten it, just because to have a 3C here and a 2C here and a 4A here it's just looks a hot mess.
Everywhere.
Right, girl.
Curl.
And all the curls going around and around, and all the girls, like, it's insane. So this is consistency. But I'm not ignorant to the fact that 4C hair gets the most hate. That, as Michelle said last time, locks, dreadlocks, all of this stuff, even braids for, come on now. And then they changed the formula. I know this is an aside, but I feel like it's important to say, because I did look for this type of stuff for skincare, and it's not even just a black thing. And I think that's why Fenty is so big, because Rihanna and her constituents realize that most of the world is not white. Most of the world is some shade of brown. That brown skin and melanin is not exclusive to Black Americans. It's not. There are Indians, and I mean, when I say Indians, I mean India. I'm not being disrespectful to the indigenous or the First Nations people of Canada or any of that, or Native Americans. I'm not doing that. When I say Indian, I mean Indian. There are Indians darker than me. I've seen them. I went to school with them, okay? So again, being of brown skin and all of its many hues and variations is not exclusive to those of African descent. It's not. Right. And there is a way that it needs to be nourished and treated when it comes to skincare. We can burn, we can and do tan, and all of these things as well. So you do need to protect your skin. And so for me, I think I take better care of my skin now that I've been putting on makeup more. And I definitely wore it probably a little over half of the time that I was away for my birthday. But I think that if you're going to do that, if you're going to wear makeup just for anybody, then you need to have a solid skincare regimen and make sure that the makeup you're putting on your face is not chock full of certain oils and any other things as well. So
it's just conducive to your skin. And to your point, I think you hit the nail on the head as far as finding the right products. For me, skincare has always been a big thing. I suffered from acne at a young age, and it was mostly on my forehead. And I also suffered severely from eczema. So first the eczema as a young child, and then going into puberty, teenage years, that's when the acne came, and it kind of did a toss between the two. So for me, skincare was always something that I had issues with, So it was always, especially with eczema, make sure you're clean, make sure you have on, you know, the right ointments, whether it be, if it's a lotion, you know, low fragrance, low this, low that, check your ingredients. And it's funny because, okay, funny story. I was about 10 years old and I had eczema on the back of my legs, like where your knees are on the back. So bad that it would burn if I bent my knee. Yeah, not from it, like, and this is just from me rubbing. Like, it would itch so bad, but I knew not to scratch. But even a rub would irritate it so. Eureka, as you like to call her, Erica, if you're not new to the podcast, this is my sister. If you aren't, this is the crazy one. We were at home and she took some plain Vaseline, and everybody knows that good old Avon Skin So Soft lotion. And she mixed it up, and God knows what else, and I mean that, only God knows what else she put in this jar. She says, now she's 3 years younger than me. So me 10, she's about 8, 7. Sister, because that's what she would call me. Sister, here you go. I made this for you. Me being a big sister, I'm like, I'm conflicted. Oh crap. Because Erica, I promise you, she should have been a chemist, was always mixing and having some type of concoction. Like, that was her thing when she was younger. She was like, I made it for you to put on the back of your legs because she saw her sister in pain. She wanted to help. I had medicine from the doctor and it would help a little, but not really. I lied to you not. I said, okay. I put it on the back of my leg. I have never had eczema again on the back of my legs. Have no idea what she did. But I put it on there and I went to sleep. Woke up the next morning. First, my legs weren't itching. They weren't burning. I put my medicine, I washed them, put my medicine on, and then put the ointment on. That was the first day I could bend my legs and it not hurt. So I used it, you know, this is my sister, you know, I'm going to support my sister, and then the crazy fact that it worked. So I don't know if it was my mama's prayers in the back as well. But till this day, I have not had eczema again on the back of my legs. So that was that. That was a realization for me at a young age. Okay, you have to take care of your skin. Then when the acne started coming, it would come and go and come and go. I tried back in the day different gel. I tried the Clean & Clear. I tried the Neutrogena. None of that worked.
I don't like Neutrogena. It was always too oily for me.
Yeah, none of that worked for me. So it wasn't until a cousin of mine gave me some black soap. No, what is it? What is the name of that brand? Ambi. She gave me Ambi black soap, and I realized they had a whole line of product.
Oh yeah.
So I bought their line, and it really helped with my my acne. When it came back, Proactive became a big thing. So I used Proactive. And it did work for me because at that point, my breakouts were never big. So I was like, okay, so it got to the point where Proactive worked too much. So I had to stop because I had some burning going on. And I was trying to figure out, like, oh, wait a minute. So I called my doctor. They was like, you might need to back off on it. So I figured that out, what I needed to do if something popped up, X, Y, Z. Even to this day, 35 years plus, it's something Proactive in my medicine cabinet for myself. I'm also into skincare because having a child, I knew inheritance was a thing. And God forbid he got a double dosage because his father's eczema. I had eczema. Eczema runs in my family, and so does acne. And my baby got a double dosage. And it really got me into looking at what's in your products, what medicines are you taking, what are you eating, because that also plays a fact in it. I found out that a lot of times your foods. You can be allergic to something and it shows up through acne versus breakout, hives or something like that. It'll show up through acne. So I had to start watching his food. I had to start watching a whole bunch of things. And this started right when he hit middle school. So it was a hard, time. And I was trying to figure out, why isn't this working? What's going on? This is that, the other. And so I got to the point where I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, stop. Go back to what you used to, a regimen, a routine. Simple. So I started him on Curology. That worked for a while, but it didn't completely clear it up. He still uses Curology now, but he has this all natural black soap. My dad is he has his own business. He does contracting for heat and air conditioning. One of his customers sells the black soap, and it's an all natural black soap. And it has done wonders in the last few weeks. It has done, when I say wonders, I mean wonders in the last few weeks. It's clearing up his dark spots. It is doing good. Outside of the fact that we have definitely changed everybody's diets around the house. Water intake has definitely increased. So it's a lot that goes into it, but the regimen for the most part is the biggest thing. And because of that, my dresser now has become the shelf of Pearl Essence. That's my thing right now. So I use Pearl Essence night serums. I have two. I started looking at a makeup artist. She did a facial cleanse routine one day, and then the algorithm started sending me all the facial cleanse people and this. So I followed this esthetician who's also a licensed dermatologist. So she started talking to me about serums. I was like, "What is a serum? Why have I never heard of this? Why is this a thing?" Started looking into it and was like, "Oh, okay." So I started out with one or two, and now I have about 10.
So you bought the store is what you're saying.
I did. I have a night serum, a day serum. Not only that, I have 3 different moisturizers. I don't do under eye creams too much. I have an under eye gel. Don't use it very often. I'm into the jade roller. It has become, if anybody follows me on my personal page, you have seen my videos where I have done complete hauls to the point now. My middle baby, who is, Jayla is 11. She has her skin regimen. Rami has a skin regimen. And I started them early because the earlier you start, one, it becomes a habit. 2, the better it is for your skin. And you mentioned tanning. We tan, we burn. I found that out the hard way because I had burns all on my shoulder. I was like, what is going on with this?
I think a lot of us find that out. I think a lot of us find that out the hard way. I found that out in elementary school because I started peeling. My shoulders started peeling, and I was like, "What is all this skin in it?" And my mom was like, "You're burning. This is what this is how Black people burn." It's basically what my mom was like, peeling.
Pretty much.
You're burning. And I was like, oh my God. But it's funny that you mentioned Proactive because they work. And I agree. They work a little too well. But my face was never my issue. And I really don't know why. My face has always been maybe a couple blackouts from hormones, from a woman's cycle. My issue was always my back, my upper back. And I think it's because from oil from my hair, sweating from dance, all of that compounded. My face, I don't know why. My back was always my issue. And Proactive worked. And I remember I always wore sports bras and not shorts, sweatpants around the house, real Aaliyah look, because that was my favorite singer.
That was our thing.
That was the thing. And I remember my dad one time was like, "Your back's really clearing up. That stuff must really work." And I really wasn't paying attention. It, like you say, just became part of my routine. Was when first of all, it's your back, so it's hard to get, you know what I mean? So it was when I'm in the shower, I put the scrub on, and I did that. And then the toner, I would get tape, like, you know, cotton balls, and that's hard to hold a cotton ball and do your back. You gotta like kind of put it between your middle finger and your ring finger and kind of get up in there and then get the lotion. It was a thing, it was a process to try to do it. So by the time I did it, I'm not like looking in the mirror and trying to like see it inside the working.
It's done.
It's done. It's done.
I just fought myself. I just felt like I was in a battle with myself.
So I'm done. Like I'm done. It's over. And it was like maybe 2 weeks or a month. And he was like, yeah, I knew it started working because, you know, and this was back when Proactive first came out, really. So you had to order it through TV. Like they didn't sell this in the stores. And it was like
they had vending machines in the mall.
They didn't have that either. And so this was like a subscription situation, and they sent it every month. And the little bottle of the stuff that actually clears it up was always gone. But we had to end up stopping because I had like 5 bottles unopened of the cleanser and the toner because I only really needed little bottle. Yes. And they sent it as the full 3 kit all the time, every month. But yeah, I loved Proactive. Proactive was great.
It really did good. Very well with me, which is why that was the first thing I tried with my son. And it worked for a while and then it stopped. And I was like, okay, this has to be something else like this. And really, realistically, what it was with him, he had eczema on his face as well as acne. So when the eczema would go away, the acne was there. So when you started using the acne medicine, it would activate his eczema because of dry skin.
Right.
So it was like and then he had inflammation. And I was like, okay, how can we do this? So when I went and I talked to the dermatologist, she gave me some medicine to help work from the inside, as well as taking more notice of his diet, definitely enforcing the water thing. You know,
I don't think people realize how important water is.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. Skin changes too. So don't always think it's the product that changed. Sometimes it's your skin. Just like with your hair. Sometimes products will work and then it might not be the formula that's changed. It might actually be your hair. That's like, okay, I'm done with this now. Your skin sometimes goes through cycles like that as well. So we have to kind of be more aware of what's going on, kind of paying a little bit more of attention.
Or like you say,
having a regular skin regimen is a plus. And please use SPF, ladies and gentlemen. SPF is our friend. Okay, it is. You can. There are different ways to lock things in. There are skincare gurus that you can watch. Preferably watch someone who's licensed because they tend to have a little bit more insight, in my opinion. You don't have to. But yeah, so my dresser is full of serums, sprays, I have toners, I have different face washes. One thing with makeup that I have learned with wearing it so often, it's all about the double cleanse. So for those who don't know, that means just taking your face wash and washing twice with it. Or using 2 different face washes.
That's what I do.
That's one. A lot of times, personally, I like to stay away from the foam washes. I go gel or I use a face balm. That's usually the first one. The second one is usually a milk-like face wash, just because it just makes your skin so silky and smooth. Another thing, never exfoliate when you do a double wash, because you're doing too much to your skin. Unless you find an extremely gentle exfoliator. And when I say exfoliator, please, I don't know about everyone else, but in my opinion, I don't use the same exfoliator for my face that I use for my body. Way more gentle exfoliator on your face. So that's just a couple key points that I have learned in reference to skincare.
I did learn that there's actually an order that you're supposed to do things. So
be aware of that too, because
there is an order.
Your oils on, then put your not your moisturizer. You can't even put your oil on, then put your toner on. Boom. There's
an order, and it is. And I skip steps. And this is the other thing. To your point, first I was going to say earlier. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're great.
To your point is, even with allergies, it may be what you're eating now. You can't eat anymore. I know that for me, I am a bread lover. I can't do it like I used to. My body is like, and now you'll be bloated and heavy and weighty for 3 days.
Oh, absolutely. Bread is like, oh, my sister, I'm with you.
It now, when everybody, when your parents used to say, oh, that'll stick to your ribs, that's what they mean. I get what they mean now. I get what they mean, because bread sticks to the rib, to the spleen, to the kidney, to the liver, to the everything, and just is like holding on for dear life. Okay, so it may be that as well. And I know that for me, but like I was saying, there is an order. I know I skip certain steps, but it's also a matter of knowing your skin. I have been very blessed to have nice skin. It's even, it's not oily, it's not dry. I have a couple dark spots. I have one really like random, for some reason, like reverse blackhead, I think it is. It's literally like a hole. I can't get stuff out.
One in my back.
I have one in my back too.
And I refuse to go get it taken care of because it just sounds like it'll hurt. I know it's not healthy, but
I have 2 dark spots here that are like from like hairs that decide they want to try to pop up. And I have a couple like odd stuff happening. But for the most part, like overall, my skin is pretty good. And I think a lot of that is because I didn't wear makeup a lot growing up. I don't wear makeup a lot now. And I'm also very aware of what's in my makeup. I think the Clinique is probably the most unhealthy, if you will, of makeup that I have. Granted, it's my foundation, but since I'm not wearing it all the time, and I do cleanse it off. And I love e.l.f. because they have a very good makeup remover. That's the other part. Before you even get to cleansing, before you even get to whether you do foam or not, because foam works for certain people, and I don't remember what it was. I had a really good resource when I was looking up, the order of things, and foam is, I think, good for oily skin. Foam is good for oily skin. That's why that wasn't gonna work for me. And the oily stuff, the oil-based cleansers are good for dry skin. That wasn't gonna work for me either. That's why I do scrubs. Like all of the St. Ives stuff is scrubs. It's just whether it's deep, moderate, or mild. They don't foam. They do exfoliate, but not roughly. They basically just take off the extra and get in your pores. That's what works for me. But I do that after my e.l.f., and I'm going to call it my mask away, if you will, because I don't really remember what it's called. But when I tell you it melts, and I think that's what it's called, is a melter, it melts makeup off. Like the only other thing that I really liked, and I liked it as a kid when I used to have to put on makeup for shows as a dancer, was Pond's. Pond's cold cream cleanser is the truth. I don't know if they changed their formula in the past 20 years, but I will say when I was a child, Pond's cold cream would snatch makeup off your face. And they did it. It was thick. It was creamy. You could feel it. And when you took it off, your face was not dry. My face, I'll speak for me. My face was not dry.
Yeah, Pond's and I weren't friends. Pond's did nothing for my skin. I was like,
Pond's as a cleanser. No. But I'm talking Pond's strictly as a makeup remover. Pond's
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it get nothing. Like,
Pond's got that off my face. It got that clean.
It's good. I use makeup wipes, but I don't use makeup wipes. I use makeup wipes when I'm doing my makeup. I don't use makeup wipes to remove my makeup. Crazy. So if I'm doing my makeup and I make a small mistake, that's when I use the wipe. If I'm cleaning my brush and while I'm doing my makeup, that's when I use my wipe. But I stop using wipes to remove my makeup at the end of the day because it tugs at the skin. And tugging your skin is really bad. Also be aware of your towels that you're using when you're cleaning your face, because towels hold bacteria, especially if you have them in the bathroom. So it's a lot that goes into it. It's a lot, and it can be a lot. I know, like, things can be overwhelming. Like, let's say, like, the skin under your arms, your elbows. I'm gonna be honest. These things right here.
Your elbows for people who can't see, because everybody's not watching YouTube, I'm sure.
My elbow, yes, I was pointing my elbows, have been such a problem for me because they're black. And my underarms have gotten lighter, but they were the same.
So to be clear, we're not saying black isn't Black American. And I have to say this because the term black is so loosely used for various things. We are talking discoloration, hyperpigmentation.
Hyperpigmentation, yes. And it was bad. I feel like it's gotten better now. This is probably the best it has looked, and it's still not where I am completely satisfied. So I mean, when you're shaving, when you're using those nails and the hair removers and getting laser, because even if you're getting laser, it does something to your skin.
Oh, it definitely does.
It affects your skin. So definitely I tell people, do your research. Also, you need a regimen for those things. And I know everything can be a lot. When you think of, I gotta clean my face properly, I gotta take care of my hair properly, I gotta eat right, I have, work out. It definitely can make you want to say, you know what? I wash my hands of all of it, I don't care. And I get it, it can get expensive because when you heard them people say, oh, it costs to be beautiful, that this is what they meant.
And this is why I listen, for those who did not, for those who did not see the first makeup, that's the first BB Sweet episode we talking about makeup. This is why when they asked me what my budget was in Sephora, I said, I don't want to be here. It's my budget. Because let me be very clear. I'm going to be so as honest as I can be right now. I don't care to be beautiful because it is expensive. I don't care to be pretty. I was never a pretty girl. I was, matter of fact, always the ugly friend. So I really don't. I wasn't the ugly friend. I was like,
ugly though. Like
that's a one. Listen, believe me, before the end of the summer. No, I lied. It's not the end of summer. September, people. We are gonna do an episode about bullying, and it's coming. And I'm gonna go into all of it. I am going to share with y'all, fellow whiners,
some very vulnerable parts of yourself.
It ain't even vulnerable. I'm gonna just be real about bullying and everything and where I'm at. Cause I think some people might look at me like, oh, she a little masculine. She a little aggressive. And I'm gonna explain exactly how Siobhan Camille came to be Siobhan Camille. And it ain't my fault. That ain't really my fault. But I say that because I was that friend. And so I was not the person who, like, I didn't care to be beautiful. And I still to this day do not. Like, I bought makeup to come on and to be presentable. I care to be presentable, but I don't aspire to beauty, especially given in America the standards of beauty. I will never reach it.
I will never be there.
I will never make it. So that's not my aspiration. My aspiration is to be presentable. My aspiration is to be able to look at myself and go, okay, that's it. Because the truth of the matter is, and I remember hearing this in elementary school and it has stuck with me. There are a couple of things that people have said to me throughout my life that stuck with me. And the one I remember from like 5th grade was my teacher said, and he was science, he was very smart, Mr. Neri, if he's still alive. Hey, how you doing? The one person in the world you will never be able to see is yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that's true. And everybody in my class was like, what do you mean? And I was like, so he had to break it down. So I'm gonna break it down because I realized that everybody may not be on the level that I was then, and y'all might be my classmates and not me. For those who are me and got exactly what that means, I see you. For the rest of you, let me break.
I was the other classmate, but I understood.
Let me break down what that means. It means you will never be able to look you in the face. And for those who are like, oh, but I have a mirror, that's a reflection. You can't see you. And that is why I think insecurities run so deep, because you will never be able to see you. You will never be able to look yourself in the face. What you see in a mirror is a reflection. So you're not even seeing what people see of you. It's why when you go to a mirror and you do this, right, But the right that you're seeing, when somebody is turned to it, that's your left, baby. You will never see you. You will never see you. That you won't. And so that leads to a certain amount of understanding that you have. And for me personally, my personal understanding was, well, I can't aspire to be beautiful. I don't aspire to that because one, given the society, I'll never make it. And two, I will never be able to see if I consider me beautiful anyway, period. Because what I'm looking at is going to always be a reflection. Even though you can like turn reflection mode off, you're still seeing a picture of you given back to you, not who you are in person, not any of this, not what you're not. So I guess I will say that to me, skincare or just in any of that is a sense of self. And it is expensive. And if you decide to go, yo, I don't feel like it today, do you? And know that the beauty we're talking of right now in this Beauty Suite episode is truly skin deep.
Truly.
There's so much more that I think personally, and maybe this is something that was foisted, and this is probably something that was foisted on me, being the ugly friend, that you can't lean on that. So you have to have something else. You have to have something else. Like being pretty. I know pretty dumb people. Oh, she pretty and dumb. Oh, he's sexy and stupid. I know a bunch of sexy, stupid people. I know quite a few. Good God, he fine, but he's a whole chauvinistic jerk.
As a child, my dad, like flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, my dad. He said, "Yeah, you real pretty. Don't nobody want no pretty dumb girl." I was like, like legit. He was like, "Yeah, but you gonna be pretty or you gonna be pretty damn dumb?" I was like, "And don't nobody want no pretty dumb girl." I was like, it hit different because it was like, to me, it clicked. And again, I was probably about 9. So it stuck with me. That was my point where it became, yeah, you can be pretty, but you can be dumb. So why not be a combination of both? Why not be pretty and smart? Be pretty and intelligent. That was one pivotal moment. The next pivotal moment is from my youth counselor. Because I was like, I got away from pretty. I was like, I'm cute. My youth pastor was like, a lot of y'all out here cute. And a lot of y'all out here being ugly. And I was like, mm-hmm. He was like, but let me tell you, y'all know like ugly. And he ain't fond of cute either. I was like,
I mean, the Bible says, oh, I can't remember the quote now, but it's something about, charm goes so far and beauty is fleeting, basically. And I'm really paraphrasing because I don't remember scriptures. Y'all, it's 11 o'clock. Okay.
It was really eye-opening. But coming back to skincare, we have to be more, I feel like we have to be more aware of what we're putting in our bodies, on our skin.
I look for natural.
I
look for natural. I think
and I think the beauty industry itself has actually started to shift into knowing, into things where it's starting to remember when it really took a shift and it started to doing vegan. I think the first shift was no more animal testing. I think that was like the first, like, oh wait, we can't, use all the chemicals, da da da. So I think that was like the first like shift. The next thing became like this whole big vegan makeup, skincare movement.
But can I be real with you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real about this. That's all great and wonderful, but it makes me think of like the farm to table industry or like movement where it's like, why is that novel? Like it boggles me. It boggles my mind because why is that novel? Why is farm to table novel versus why did we get to a point, and how do we get to a point where farm to chemical processing through a plant to table became acceptable? And in a lot of ways, skincare is the same way. And the reason I'm gonna say this, I say it exactly like this, is because most of the products, and I say this, it's August, it's Black Entrepreneurship Month, and I'm gonna be so real. Most of the products that have been not slapped and marketed toward Black people, but created by Black people, were created with natural stuff. Like that whole it being natural, not new to us. Not new to us. Not new to us, not new to the culture, not new to what we do. It's what we've been doing. And part of the reason I think that Black people have, since we're talking about Black, and we started this with melanated skin and skincare, part of the reason I think Black people have the issues that they have with skincare is because you're using products that were not meant for you. Like, these products were not made for you. Like, even, and I'm not talking, they're marketed towards you, that's great. They were not made for you in mind. They were not made for your skin, because quite frankly, a lot of the stuff that I see, like, let's talk about, like, even hair is easy for me. So I'm gonna just do this. Sodium lauryl sulfate is in everything, hair-based. You wanna know why your hair won't grow? You wanna know why your hair is thinning at the end? Aside from the relaxers, whole nother conversation. If your stuff, your hair stuff, your makeup, because this is a lot of makeup too, has sodium lauryl sulfate in it, you are jacking yourself up long-term. Because let me tell you what, it's no different than high fructose corn syrup. They said for a long time, oh, high fructose corn syrup is okay in moderation. It's okay in moderation. If it's in everything, baby, it's not moderation. It's not moderation. And that's why they started taking it out of stuff. That's why they started marketing stuff and labeling stuff, no high fructose corn syrup. Because if it's in everything, it's not moderation. It's in everything. If you're getting 2% from this and 5% from this and 3% from this and another 5 from this, baby, you are at 15% just in 5 minutes. Your breakfast, you just had 15% of high fructose corn syrup. Through the rest of your day, you're gonna hit about 95. Like, you're not doing, it's not that. And sodium lauryl sulfates, all this other stuff that you're putting in, if you can't research and read, if you can't read and research the ingredients, don't put it in, don't put it on your skin, don't put it in your hair, don't put it on your body. Like, and I'm not saying like you can't research, you should. If something says aqua in it, we all know at this point that that's water.
Right, but and I agree with you. That's just like before, like right now, what I'm going to say this correctly. Hyaluronic acid. When I first heard that, what triggered me was acid. I was like, why are they marketing so much? This acid you want me to put on my skin. I had to go back and do research on it to actually find out what it was, how it worked, how it benefited. And then I realized that was what they were saying. Moderate, a little bit. You don't need a lot. If you have it in this serum, you don't need it in this. If you put it in, you don't need tons of it. A little bit goes a long way. And the more I got into the whole skincare regimen, that and I think it's retinol.
Retinol.
Retinol. It goes a little bit, goes a long way. So, and you start seeing the benefits from it, things like that. So what I started doing was more of a collagen, more of a vitamin C, those type things. And just, a little bit of these things go a very, very, very long way. And I know, like I said, it can get intense, it can be a lot, but just keep that in mind. A little bit goes a long way. Skin cancer is real out here. Ladies and gentlemen, as much as we love the sun, you have to protect yourself from its rays, because we have damaged our ozone layer to the point now where the rays from the sun can definitely damage your skin outside of just burning.
Take precautions.
Yes, just take the necessary precautions. I'm not saying, don't get your tan. Please get your tan on, do it safely. Yeah, but you definitely have to do research. And if skin is something that you're passionate about, Like go for it. There's plenty of room out here in the skincare industry and in the health industry of your hair, like all of that stuff. Like, come on, we need more of us being represented in this market. And I don't just mean African American, I mean Black and brown people, melanated people. Have some of your skin, I'm talking to you. We need more of us represented in the market itself. Because like you said, we've been doing the natural things, the black soap and the turmerics, and we know or knew, well, excuse me, our grandparents and then, knew of those things. Now, whether they taught it to the next generation, I feel like it might have kind of faded out a little bit, but then somewhere, somehow it clicked back in. So now everybody's becoming more aware again of being reintroduced to it. Right. And it's funny because you can have conversations with like your grandmother, or if you're blessed enough to have your great grandmother, and they go, well, yeah, baby, we know. Because back in my day, we did this and we rubbed it on our skin, and we, to get rid of that. Remember those ointments they used to have? Oh, go rub some peppermint on it. The lavender, like those things, what was the old school remedies? That's what that is. And all the marketing companies have done now is found a pretty way to package it. So, and with the packaging, sometimes you get some other stuff that come in it. So you do have to be aware. And sometimes just talk to an ancestor. I'm gonna be honest. Talk to an ancestor. Because they can probably educate you with some things that you had not known or even thought about. In reference to something as simple as your skin. Like when they say black don't crack, it was a reason why our great grandmothers didn't look their age.
But that's why I say that, I'm going to say this like this. The people of the earth have always done that. And that's Native Americans, that's Indians, that's Africans, that's whether you go all the way to New Zealand and the Maori, whether you go to tribal people of tribes have always done that because they live off the land and they respected it for what it could do. You hear about like chebe powder for the women in Chad now. You hear about turmeric and all this Ayurvedic stuff. My mother has a whole bunch of Ayurvedic hair stuff. And I will say, I'm not saying she didn't know this stuff, but I think my journey with everything that happened last year and my journey to buy black, which meant most of the stuff I was buying was natural because, again, Black people use what they have their hands on. We don't get our hands on a whole lot of chemicals. We don't. So you use what's of the earth. And so she went back to the earth. Now her earth journey led her to India, basically, because she does a lot of Ayurvedic stuff. Mine as well. I use amla. I use beringage powder and oil. And matter of fact, quick aside, I have beringage powder and Brahmi powder, and I was mixing it together, and I made a hair mask, and I sent y'all the picture, and it literally looks like chocolate cake mix. Man, I spilled that all over the stove, and I was like, damn, I gotta clean this up. So I washed my hair. Well, I said, because it's supposed to set. I let it sit on my hair. Washed the stove. It was the cleanest the stove has ever been. Natural cleanser though, because I know what's in this powder. It's just a plant. But that's what I'm saying. So when they do this stuff like natural ingredients that'll clean your house, and you've been told, we as American people have been told, oh no, it's got to be bleach, it's got to be chemicals. It doesn't. It really doesn't. You can do all this stuff, but if you want to know why, again, your hair is falling out, like all of this stuff that's marketed toward Black people is really not healthy for Black people. It's not. Pink lotion is probably one of the worst things you can put on your hair. It dried mine out as a child. I hated it. Hate it today.
Girl.
Sulfur 8 is not great. And I'm not saying that there aren't exceptions and that there are some people who use it and it's like a miracle worker for them.
I have seen some of my friends use pink moisturizer and the magic that it did to their hair. I was like, hair envy instantly. But as soon as I put that pink bottle, my hair looked like, girl, what you doing to me? Stop playing.
And I'm gonna say this too, and this will be my final statement on it, is whether hair or skin, know yourself, because you know if your skin is oily or normal, whatever that is, which I have, or dry. You know if you have hyperpigmentation or you don't. You know if you have cystic acne or regular acne or blackheads. That tends to be my issue, is the blackheads. That's why I keep the blackhead scrub. Learn you, and then research what you need to do. And it may not be the first thing you do, but don't let other people tell you, oh, you're black, so your hair is this. Oh, you're black, so your skin needs this, because it may not be true. And I say that from, and I know we've been talking about skin, but I'm really passionate about hair, y'all. And so I'm going to say like coconut oil, or right, all this protein. If you put too much protein in your hair, it gets dry and brittle and stiff. So if you keep putting this on, and I know that people like to tell us, oh, your hair is damaged, oh, your skin is damaged, oh, and even if it is, part of that is because you're using products that weren't made for you. Go back to nature. Look for vitamin E stuff. Look for these oils: safflower oil, apricot oil, avocado oil, barangaj, amla, regardless of where.
What is it? Sunflower seed
Safflower, babasu. Let me tell you, I love me some babasu. If you really can't do coconut, because I can't do coconut, babasu is an awesome alternative. Just gonna put that out there. Babasu oil is incense. Baobab oil, whatever it is, and you may need to test some other things. I know people that are allergic to peppermint oil. I know people allergic to coconut oil. You can't do jojoba. We've had that conversation. Like, but you have to learn you, and all of these oils you can use for your skin and your hair, but you have to learn who you are first.
Yes. And that's the other part with skincare. There are things out there for your skin, like she was speaking in reference to oils. I know some people are against a lot of oils on their skin, but there are some oils out here that are great for your hair and your skin. So that there in itself can be a money saver. Yeah. But again, like we said, this is our experience with our hair and our skin, and our journey on what it has taken for us to maintain what we feel comfortable enough to call beautiful. Okay. And ultimately, as we've been stating this entire episode, that's what it's about. Taking care of yourself enough to where you're healthy and you feel confident about you. If skin care is not a thing that you are concerned with, cool. Do you? It's fine. Skincare may not be a big issue for you, but for some of us, it's a thing. So, we just wanted to give you a little bit of knowledge on some of the things, regimens that some of the things that we have learned over the years. So for like 1, clean your skin. Yes. 2, get your own regimen. If your regimen is just 2 things, where it's a quick wipe down with witch hazel and some moisturizer, or whatever your moisturizer is, that works for you, that's what it is. Just clean your skin, get your regimen, and my last thing, use SPF. Please be aware of the sun. Protect it. Protect it. It's all that you have. It's all that you're gonna get. So just protect it. Those are my 3 keys. And if we want to add a 4th, do your research. That's number 1 for me, people. But yes, that there. Knowledge is power. Do your research. Do your research and learn yourself. Yes. That is all that I have to say about that. Oh, my nail. Yeah, you hear that? Y'all better get into that tap. Get into that's good glass right there. Y'all don't even know it. That's that good. That's a church triangle, y'all. That is a church triangle. So now that the glasses are seemingly empty, Siobhan, tell us your rating on your wine today. So I'm gonna be real quick. This says Barefoot Pinot Noir is a medium-bodied wine with tantalizing flavors of ripe cherry and wild raspberry. Hints of vanilla and spice complement a smooth, lingering finish. This would be a semi-sweet Pinot Noir.
And it wasn't too bad. They also say barefoot Pinot Noir is perfect with lamb, grilled salmon, or creamy pasta dishes. I guess I could see that. I will give it a. Oh, I'm gonna come back. I'll let you know in a second. What's your? Yeah, I gotta taste it again. So.
So for my wine cocktail, the cocktail itself was very tasty. It is sweet once you put the white grape with the Riesling. I know the Riesling that the Chateau Saint Michel is a semi-sweet Riesling. And it does have a slight dryness. But if you are looking to sweeten this up a little bit, some white grape, just a pinch, not a lot, because I did 6 ounces or 6 counts, however you want to call it, a 6 ounce pour of this, and I did a 2 ounce pour of the white grape juice. And for me, that made it sweet enough to become a sweeter.
So is that the sweet? Is that the semi-sweet Riesling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it did make it sweeter. That I could see going with a nice dessert. Like a nice even dessert. Maybe like a nice piece of yellow cake, a nice piece of pie. You know, just something little, ooh, tasty. I got a sweet tooth, little ordeal there. I enjoyed it. If you were watching, I'm sure you saw me. I definitely enjoyed it. So we know this semi-sweet Saint Michel is a good cocktail mixer for those who might want to just try something different, you know, maybe for a brunch or like a bridal shower or something like that. You know, people are, I don't drink Riesling. Yes, you do.
Riesling comes in dry, sweet, and semi-sweet. So everybody can drink a Riesling because it literally comes in every possible option.
Yes. So my rating for the cocktail itself is a 4. It was really, really delightful. It was really light. And I truly enjoyed it.
So for the barefoot Pinot Noir, I'm gonna give this a 3. I was dropped when at first I was gonna give it 3.5. Then I had it again. I was gonna give it 2.5. So we're gonna land in the middle and give it a 3. The issue with this for me is that wild raspberry because I'm really not a fan. I taste the cherry first, and then the raspberry hits after, and it's kind of like I wish you weren't here. So because the hints of vanilla and spice do complement a smooth, lingering finish, they're right. They're not lying on the bottle. Barefoot is very honest. We appreciate that. But that wild raspberry, it takes you from a 3.5 to a good 3. And I'm not really a red wine person anyway. But again, it's Pinot Noir day, and so there you go. But thank you. Well, that's what I got.
Well, there you have it. This has been another wonderful episode of Whining in Color on A Little Something to Whine About with your hosts, Ty and Michelle.
And Siobhan Camille.
Be sure you subscribe. Just hit the like button below. And join us each and every Wednesday for a brand new episode. Don't forget, leave a comment. Tell us.
What's your favorite Pinot Noir? It's Pinot Noir day. Do you have a favorite Pinot Noir? Send us some recommendations because we definitely would like to know. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I like to taste a nice Pinot Noir. And as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.
Toodles.